Okay, so we're here today with Brent Griffith, Managing Director of Deloitte Consulting. Brent, hello, nice to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Great, fantastic, likewise. I guess maybe to begin, for those that don't know you, want to give us a brief introduction to your role, your responsibilities at Deloitte, and perhaps tell us a bit more about what you and the team are focused on at the moment.
Absolutely. So I lead our digital procurement offerings here at Deloitte. So within our sourcing and procurement practice, really everything, all the work that we do at the intersection of technology and source-to-pay procurement.
Great.
So it's an area where we're seeing a lot of change, a lot of growth, a real move in the market from a focus on automation to a focus on transformation. And so excited to be here today with Ivalua, which is one of the major technologies that we're really seeing position themselves for agentic AI, position themselves really to transform procurement functions going forward.
Excellent, and we'll come on to that relationship. I guess maybe for a bit of context, you talked about this sense of there being a lot to do. Perhaps you could tell me where procurement's at the moment. What are some of the most pressing challenges? Where do you see the opportunities for functions to elevate, to perform, and I guess to move forward?
Absolutely, and I would say procurement, as with many business functions, is really at an inflection point at the moment.
Great.
That we have seen some tremendous advances in technology, really over the course of the past couple of years. In fact, it's a bit sobering to me to think back to generative AI 2 years ago, the things that we viewed as really revolutionary in the marketplace that just now have become so foundational to the way we do business. Right, having AI capture our notes in our meetings is just something that we all do every day, all day. But the state of the art in technology has continued to advance, and we really are seeing the emergence of technical capabilities that have the capability to really drive significant improvements in efficiency, significant improvements in insight and effectiveness that companies are getting out of their procurement functions, and that obviously drives a need to upgrade both technology as well as the entire ecosystem of operating models, skills, processes, policies, and so we're very excited with where we really see the procurement marketplace going over the next couple of years.
And I think it's exciting. You see that real ambition for change. I'm sure you see that every day, working with clients. Is that there for you? Is there that desire to really embrace and to move forward?
Absolutely. It obviously varies company to company.
Of course.
But the combination of external market pressures that we're seeing, whether geopolitical or tariffs or other forces that are coming into play out there, really combined with the capabilities that improvements in technology are offering, I would say most companies are really looking to capitalize on that.
That's great.
And so we're seeing a lot of focus on how the procurement function can be upgraded in order to take advantage of those capabilities.
Which is great for you and the work you do, obviously. It will keep you busy. Let's come on to that. Maybe you want to tell us about how you and Ivalua work together. I know obviously there's a real partnership and a relationship there. Perhaps you could tell me how you, I suppose, come together to deliver those comprehensive solutions that cover some of the challenges we've just talked about.
Absolutely. Well, Ivalua obviously brings the technology to the table. However, we see technology as really being only one part of the greater picture that companies need. Really starts with thinking about operating model, thinking about how procurement adds value in their organizations, the process and policy infrastructure that they need, the data and data taxonomy that comes into play, and then as we get into actually implementing a technology like Ivalua, we're thinking about change management, we're thinking about actually using the technology to go and drive sourcing analytics, drive category strategy, drive sourcing execution. So as we work with Ivalua, we're really doing both of those things. We're playing an implementer role to implement the technology, but we're also bringing the broader business insight around all of the other aspects of the change that needs to occur in order for companies to get the most out of their procurement functions.
Which I guess is really important. You have those kind of two complementary areas that deliver a full package. I mean, how do both kind of sides fit into that transformation? Ivalua, for example, the technology side, where does it come in when you're working through a typical kind of program or initiative?
Yes, well, it is foundational, right? The work that we do view rests on the fact that our clients are looking to upgrade their capabilities, are looking to drive automation, insight. Right? They need the capabilities that a technology is going to deliver. And so we engage early with Ivalua, identify where they are a good fit for clients in the market, and then we work closely with our clients in order to identify what is the full set of capabilities that they need in order to realize that vision, realize that value, and go and deliver that, hand in glove with Ivalua as the technology partner in order to drive those benefits for the client at the end of the day.
Fantastic. You mentioned change management. It's been quite a big theme here. Obviously, we're talking about technology adoption first and foremost. How do you kind of manage that process? I guess from your side, Deloitte as the consultant, the advisor, the collaborator with the businesses, and then working with those companies to adopt the technology and actually implement it.
Yes, and I would say change management is one of the most critical components of these types of transformations.
Right.
The actual benefit that you get is driven as much by how widely the technology is adopted, how effectively the technology is adopted, as it is by the technology itself. And so we come in early and identify how the change, the technology, combined with all of the broader process changes that we've just been talking about, are going to impact the organization, who's going to be impacted, how their roles are going to change. That typically goes well beyond the procurement function, to all of the users of the organization. Everyone who buys or uses any purchased goods or services is often affected by these types of programs.
Absolutely.
We structure a communication strategy around that. We structure a training strategy in order to enable people. It feeds in very closely with that broader operating model transformation that we were talking about, in terms of really identifying how work is going to be done differently, and then we deliver that over the course of the program through communications, training, everything from user updates to keeping the executive team aligned with the overall program.
And do you think, I guess, ease of use, simplicity, those kind of things are important? I know that's kind of been a theme of a lot of what Ivalua is talking about when it comes to their technology, making things easier and simpler for everyone.
It is. In my experience, ease of use means different things to different people.
Got it,
And so that is part of what we look to do through change management.
I see.
Right, is there are different user groups. So for some user groups, a very intuitive solution in a very narrow space is what they're looking for, and that is what makes the technology easy to use for them. And so their ease of use is driven by simplicity. Right. We find there are other user groups that are really using the technology across source to pay. And so what they're looking for is a consistent technology experience, which is obviously one of the things that Ivalua does bring. And they're looking for that consistency and ease of use across the tech stack. Right. And then there are others for whom ease of use means sophistication, flexibility, the ability to tailor a specific experience for themselves. Those are all slightly different use cases. It can be difficult to solve for all of them in totality. So it's determining what's the right answer for the organization overall. And then obviously driving the change, because it is going to mean change for at least some members of the organization. It's
complex change, but that's what you do. That's what you manage. We've talked about AI, obviously, a lot. You talked about it yesterday. Tell me where you see the most opportunity from AI. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, but for you and when you're working with clients, where do you see the opportunity, and where do you see the risks when it comes to adoption as well?
Yes, so two major areas of opportunity. One, which is where I really see the greatest potential to transform what procurement is doing, frankly, is adding additional insights that procurement has not been able to bring to their stakeholders today. I mentioned it yesterday, but procurement has long been, to my mind, one of the great treasure troves of unstructured data.
Absolutely.
You look at the insights that exist in bills of material, in purchase orders, in requisitions, in invoices, that historically companies have not been able to tap into because it's in free text fields or potentially captured in multiple systems that are not well integrated or don't have a common data model, and the ability of AI to go out and mine that data learn how to use it and turn it into real insights that can be provided back to organizations, we're really seeing revolutionize how spend can be managed. So additional insight is certainly one of the areas that I would highlight.
Great.
And then just efficiency improvements.
Of course.
A lot of the foundational work that procurement has done, more tactical aspects have been able to be automated. But at the end of the day, it's still taken a procurement professional to go and do the work.
Yeah, right.
And as we look at some of the things that agentic AI is really opening up, it's opening up the potential for virtual procurement professionals to actually go and do some of the roles that we see human procurement professionals do today, and should drive significant efficiency in procurement organizations.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things. We talk a lot about adding strategic value, but you need to be freed up to be able to deliver on that kind of high level kind of focus, right? And that's what AI does, I suppose, from your perspective.
It does, yes. And we are absolutely seeing that. And then even further, we're really seeing a change in what that means for procurement operating models, right? Again, I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but companies that are really reevaluating what this means in terms of being able to provide buy desk support, what this means in terms of continuously updated category strategies and not needing to necessarily produce a category strategy as an event in their procurement life cycle. Really changes the way a lot of procurement organizations operate today.
Absolutely. It's an exciting few years, I think. I mean, there's been a lot of innovation here, so many kind of new products. What do you think are the priorities moving forward for procurement? I guess from your perspective, when you're working with organizations, what will you be focused on when you and Ivalua are delivering solutions?
So we've just talked about some of them, really that AI focus.
Great.
And really thinking about how everything that we implement is towards that future state vision of agents accessing the data that's in the system in order to actually drive procurement activities.
Yeah. So what about the event? You and I were talking about the scale of the venue, how exciting it is. I mean, do you think it's important to have this physical presence and for partners like Deloitte and Ivalua to come together to kind of facilitate that?
It is. We live in a virtual world now, so much of the work that we do is in the virtual world. But you still can't beat getting together live with clients, with prospects, with Ivalua, sharing information, and just having the opportunity to learn about what we're all doing. So it's been a tremendous event, and looking forward to the wrap up here this evening. Likewise.
Well, we'll see you there. For now, Brent, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.